It's time for a little bit of science. I'm Will Grant, an associate professor in science communication at the Australian National University.
And I'm Rod Lamberts. I'm a 30-year science communication veteran with the mind of a teenage boy.
And today, well, we've been at the Beach Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah, drinking in swimming cocktails. In fact, I'm still there. I don't know where you are.
Of isotopes and science and stuff like that. So rather than giving you our regular pile of science,
We've saved you something delicious. We've been squirreling away little snippets throughout the millennium, and you're going to get a bunch of those right now. It's going to be fab.
enjoy. I want to say thank you yet again to climate change.
We all do.
I mean, because, you know, climate change isn't great. It's fucking the world in many ways, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
whatever.
so old. You're so old-fashioned.
Siberia's getting warmer, though. They can have more
They
summer
could
holidays.
deal with that. It'll make the gulags more inviting.
Indeed, indeed. I just wanted to update you on one of the other ways that we should thank climate change.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, brain-eating amoebas.
Wow, I feel grateful already. I've always complained my brain, there's too much of it and it's too heavy. If someone could eat some of it away for me.
So the most notorious free-living amoeba being a very small, single-celled organism, but, you know, it's a bit of an agile one. They might have pseudo feet, little false feet on them, so they can...
False feet?
They're single-celled, but they can sort of walk around and do stuff.
So they're false feet, but they work.
Yeah, they're called pseudopodia. But
Pseudopodia.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know why
very
they're
much an
false
average
feet.
name for a band.
Pseudopodia.
Where's
yeah.
Pseudopodia? Are you sure?
Yeah, like we're
Have
the
you- have
warm up
you-
to the warm up.
Have you thought of having a different name?
But anyway, they're single-celled organisms, but you know they can do a little bit of wandering around. And one of them is called Nailarea fowleri, commonly known.
Literally only one of them. I didn't know they had individual names.
It takes a long time, but there are scientists out there working on naming each one.
This is
individually.
Janelle, this is Keith, and this is...
Nailarea.
Special name.
Well, this one has a common name as well, which is brain eating.
Ooh. Great.
It lives naturally in warm, fresh water between 30 degrees and 40 degrees.
Like the pool in your backyard.
Lakes, rivers, and maybe indeed. It may be indeed. But it is rarely found in cooler places because, you know, it needs a bit of warmth in the water. Now, just to say how
Thanks climate change.
brain-eating bacteria gets into you can't get it by drinking that water. So don't worry. Don't worry if you're drinking the river in a warmer place.
Okay.
You're fine.
Really?
Because your stomach, you know, kill that little bacteria.
And everything else as well.
But if you might be doing some stuff where you know, might be cleaning out your nose with some water or anything sort of in the nasal area.
What?
You know, like you're doing one of those ones, a sinus cleaning.
Oh, your teapot in the
Yeah.
schnozzer because apparently that cures AIDS.
Or you might be doing it for... Indeed, stop smoking AIDS. So, you know, there are places where you might put a bit of water through your nose and
Sure.
then you clean out your sinus, maybe for religious reasons or for hygiene reasons. So
Excuse me? For religious reasons.
yeah.
Before you come into them...
I don't know, yes.
Okay, now you can come in.
Yeah, you should probably not. Like, you know, it could be something.
Which religion?
I don't know.
Again, if you're listening and you know, please tell me because
It's
I
probably
want to
like
know.
a big religion. It's probably all of
big one.
It's probably all of the religions except atheism. Like, I don't know.
Is that a religion? Anyway,
Atheism? Well, you know, it's classified in that genre. But
it does have theism in it. You're right.
so happily, as things get warmer, our pseudopodiid brain-eating amoeba is able to walk into now becoming warmer and warmer places.
Does it hitch a ride on your Ross River fever mosquitoes and stuff?
All of them. All of them.
Great.
It's like, you know, climate change, it's lovely how there are so many effects from the warmer world that will come towards those of us who live in the cooler world, and brain-eating amoebas.
All the benefits of your tropicals. And by benefits...
So not much more there, except
Great.
if you want, you can worry about brain-eating amoebas. So,
you guarantee I will.
all right, I got a puzzle for you.
Give me a puzzle.
So this comes from a 2013 study where a group of economists said there's something interesting going on when we look at, you know, regular folk views on things and economist views on things.
Are you saying economists think slightly differently to all other people?
Yes.
Are they saying? I don't want to throw you in it.
Yes.
Are they suggesting?
But
Yes, but.
the way they think different is the interesting thing.
Oh, the different.
Yeah, the different. So they got two data sources. They got the expert economists.
Your expert economist.
They got a bunch of these, and they were asking them questions every couple of weeks. So this is expert economists. And then another survey which asked regular Americans, So 1,000 representative
Kid
sample.
Rock.
Kid Rock. Kid Rock.
Ivanka Trump.
Can you imagine getting Kid Rock in a survey? So
You probably had him.
So they're asking questions that you'd very much expect, to ask both economists and people about the economy.
Sure.
There's all sorts of stuff like...
Is it good?
Is the economy good?
Do you like
No, not
economy?
opinions on the economy, but more about how the economy works.
Oh.
So it might be stuff like...
How does the economy work?
If you tax the wealthy more, will it increase tax revenues?
No. The trick's to tax them less and then it trickles down.
It's a question, not a...
Oh,
yeah.
That's my answer. No.
You're not allowed to give answers.
Oh,
But
okay.
Other stuff like are CEOs overpaid, bailing out automakers, good or bad,
Good.
NAFTA, good or bad. These
Definitely. The North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement, my favourite one. Of all the free trade agreements I've studied extensively, NAFTA's that's my go-to.
It's not called that anymore.
No, I didn't know that.
Trump abolished that, but he changed it. He kept it the same.
When you call it Trump Agreement.
No surprise on all of these issues. Economists' opinions differ greatly from ordinary Americans.
This is some awesome research.
Yeah, no, this is very predictable to the point, but there's something weird.
Yeah.
The more that economists agreed on something, so the more that all of the economists agree one thing, the further they are from the rest of the population.
That is awesome.
So if the economists don't agree, then they're pretty much like the rest of the population.
Like us schmoes.
Yeah, whatever. But the more convinced they are of something...
Oh, it's a conclave of weirdos.
It becomes further and further away from the rest of the population. So there's a whole bunch of these questions, and
that's cool.
There's this strong point in the trajectory that the clearer they get to each other, they completely agree, the less like the rest of the world
The
they are.
more you're like you, the less you're like us.
So here's the conundrum. Now, the researchers gave a few explanations for what's going on here.
Yeah.
But this is my question to you. What explains? So a group of experts, and here the economy, of course, is something that applies to a lot of people and people have opinions on.
Sure.
But a group of experts, the more they agree, the less they are like the rest of the world.
I think there are many ways to explain that quite quickly. One of them is trying to impress each other with how very fucking clever they are.
That was one of the ones that they suggested.
For sure. It's like, oh no, I think you'll find this subtle nuance, which I thought of in the bath when I was lucid dreaming. And then they'll say, and other ones will go like, I don't understand a word he said. I better agree in case I look like an idiot.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, and the other one is whether they do it deliberately or not to try and keep it as obscure as possible conceptually and in their language so that if others can't understand it, because I've talked with some economists and they get really mad when you simplify what they talk about, when you kind of go, oh, you mean X equals Y? And they're like, oh no, it's way more complicated. Let me explain and bring in 10 of my friends to help me. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just spent 3 minutes telling you what you took an hour to make confusing for me. So it could be part of protecting their patch, which a lot of experts do.
Yes.
It could just be hardcore economists who hang together, have issues.
Yeah.
And they might literally just not be like the rest of us.
Look, man, you did that really well. They were actually pretty good versions of their articulation.
Weirdly, I think about shit like this.
No, so it's probably not driven by a knowledge gap, even though the economists definitely did know more.
Sure,
there was some stuff in there that they showed.
Yeah.
It's probably not that. Now, one thing they did try to correct for originally is that while they had a diversity of, economists who were Democrat and Republican and independent in this, they were generally, like, they're professors, so they're generally more well-off than the average American.
Sure.
And they're generally more liberal.
At least a little bit. At least central, if not. Yeah.
So there was a bit of correction for that.
Okay.
But they said the same sorts of things. The subjects may perceive the questions as exam questions rather than policy or political. Like they're like, and so what they're doing is, what do you give is the economics answer to this thing, not what is the right answer.
And they want to get it right, as in terms of an exam.
So the more that the questions were framed a little bit like, what would be an exam? What does the literature say?
Yeah.
So that's what you said.
Yeah, let me prove what I've read. Okay, well done. Yep.
And again, economists trained to be precise and feel more scrutinized by their peers interpret the questions more literally than ordinary Americans do. So the ordinary Americans might be interpreting sort of the general vibe of something, but these people are looking at, okay, now I'm just looking at the exact policy instrument that you raised in the question. And so...
To be fair, that's what experts in whatever realm do.
Yep.
We know that. We know that. I don't like being fair, but I'm giving it a go.
So the general point that they get to in the end is that it's assumptions about the questions and about the ways of looking at the world that the economists have, that they're like, oh no, we ruled all those out. We're not thinking about those right now. And ordinary Americans are like, no, maybe we should pay attention to them. Maybe we should include them. Maybe we think different. And so the study ended with this point. I would rather be governed by the first 2,000 people in the Boston telephone book than the 2,000 people in the faculty of Harvard. And I think, I actually agree that random people governing is not a terrible thing at all.
Old school democracy.
Oh, absolutely. But there is something really interesting here that maybe the economists marginalising themselves, and it's not actually the right answer for society.
My experience, which is, of course, deep and rich when it comes to economists, is not maybe, yes. The Medici family. The Medici family. We're going to go historical. So they were a little bit exiled from Florence in the early 1490s.
Whoa, you don't want to tell me that they were lords of Florence for a long time first?
They were lords of Florence for a long time first.
Yeah, they were rich-ass fuckers that kind of owned the world from Florence.
From Florence.
And then
they got a tad exiled.
Okay, you're just jumping to the end point here.
I know.
It's like...
It's a good story.
Did you know there was this, rose from the cave?
It's not really science either. In terms of a little bit, the only part of science in there was dates. So depending on which you read, 1492, 1494, anyway, off your pop fellas and
the whole family?
Apparently.
God, I would love to exile the whole family. You're all gone.
Would you?
You're all out of here. No, I think exile is an awesome old school punishment. Like, get out of here. You're gone.
You are exiled.
You must no longer be in this.
Do you reckon there'd be a lot of work? Because you'd have to flush out all members of the family. You'd have to ensure they left.
Oh, we exile like ambassadors and stuff like that occasionally.
That's easy because they have papers. Anyway, they wanted to get back in there. They wanted to get back in charge. And they realised at the time, if you get the enthusiastic support of the French king...
Oh, well.
It's probably a way in, obviously.
What are we, like Louis IV?
Frankie the First.
Frankie the
Francis, King Francis. That is not a French accent.
Yeah, but it is a Medici accent of the...
I don't know what. It might have been Neanderthal. So December 1515, there was a scheduled meeting between King Francis I and Pope Leo the X or 10th in Bologna, which is a great town for drinking spritzers really cheaply in the middle of town on the weekend.
Thank you.
They cut off all the streets and they pour you these buckets of Aperol spritzers. Fantastic. So they say basically this meant the senior de Medicis could get access to your Grand Fromage at the event.
Okay, so they sneak into Bologna.
Yeah, because Giuliano de Medici, the dude who was the king of the Medicis at the time, was also Pope Leo X's brother. So that's kind of handy.
Sure. Keep it in the family.
So yeah, that's it. He's the brother of Pope Leo. Pope Leo's going to meet the French king.
Could you hook us up with God?
Just going to sneak on in and have a bit of a chatty poo with the other hangers on.
So who kicked him out of Florence? Like, was it the king or the?
It was me.
I don't know. I don't know the geopolitics of Italy at the time.
You've got to listen to that other podcast, A Little Bit of History.
A little bit of history. We should do a little bit of history.
We should. I can guarantee only a little bit.
Just did like human ladies and Neanderthal men. That's a little bit of history.
Human ladies, and well, I also told you about the 1490s and the Medicis. So anyway, a lot of folks would want a little bit of your old French king attention at this event. So they needed to get his attention somehow, but in a really good way.
Oh. And
throw in a little bit of flattery as well.
Now, okay, now I'm with you. This is like, it's not the results that we're talking about here. It's how to get the attention of the French king.
Yeah. In a world where your kings were getting plenty of attention and a lot of...
I get it.
A lot of your teabagging and your fly shows.
So you run a public awareness campaign on TV beforehand.
Have you seen Florence and how crap it is without us there?
Yeah, French kings. They're my favourite kings.
Exactly. It's been 20 odd years.
Yeah.
That place hates France.
Want to get yourself a king? Yeah. Great kings.
Yeah. Do you want Florence to like France again?
Imagine running an advertising campaign for the monarchy. Like bring back the monarchy in a country that doesn't have it.
Oh, to bring it. I was going to say, if it's advertising for the monarchy, you just say, obey, or we will kill you.
I was just thinking now.
Now. No, I think America's an example of that. Anyway, that's moving on. That's a different podcast as well. So, fortunately, Giuliano, the head Medici, was also the patron of a fellow you've heard of, Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, he did the painting.
He did. He painted a picture on
And he
a
invented
wall.
helicopters.
He did. He never built one, but he invented them. That's why all helicopters are called
No, he was like
Leo.
that guy. No, yeah, exactly. Like the kids that invented the MP3 player. What did you invent?
I invented
the laser backpack.
The handheld laser gun.
Yeah, exactly. Leonardo da Vinci invented the helicopter.
He did.
In drawing form.
Insane. Like my handheld laser gun would have worked. Listen to last week's episode. Was it last week? God, that was a long time ago. So, what better way to flatter the monarch than a gift specially created by Leonardo for the monarch?
Oh, I'm with you.
Oh, it's cool.
I'm with you.
And he needs something better than some little sketch of a woman who may or may not be smiling.
So there's a bit of parallel
You need something
here.
better.
You know, like many countries around the world are trying to capture the attention of the monarch.
Yes.
Of Donald Trump, and
Yep.
they're giving him gold crowns. Australia gave a little gold submarine. Well, it's not even gold. It had a little bit of crappy gold on it.
It was your Revel modelling kit.
Yeah, it was a modelling kit that Albo did himself and put some gold on it.
I worked really hard on it, but
I feel so. We have long been doing, a little bit of flattery for the king.
your upward suck.
So Da Vinci, what can he do for the French king?
Well, like I said, a little picture of a lady who may or may not be smiling that you can't see really very easily these days.
Do you mean the Mona Lisa?
I do.
He did that for the French king.
No. That's the thing I won't do. What's that? It's not spectacular. Like, look, I painted you this small picture of a woman sitting still. The king goes,
It's a picture.
I have one of these. I have many. I have many. So Medici wanted to create something that represented, quote, a powerful gesture of diplomacy and innovation at a time when art, science, and politics were closely intertwined.
Jeez Louise, we're running a grant application here.
Pretty much. And I should add, but he didn't say this, but this is what, maybe have some flowers as well. Some flowers. Your fleur de lis. Or is it fleurs de lis?
Oh, flowers on it, or like some bouquets of
Just
flowers.
include some flowers. You've got to get some flowers.
Everyone likes flowers.
The French love a flower. I love a flower. They're all good. So, at this stage of his career, Leonardo's notebooks were chock-a-block with ideas about mechanical creations, robots and shit. Literally.
Robots.
Yeah, like a mechanical creatures. It's true, apparently. The most ambitious one he had designed, but not built, an automated Germanic knight.
Nice.
Not any knight, a Germanic knight.
I like. We've specified what race he is.
Yeah. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't know where to put the gears.
It's not going to be like an English or a French knight.
No, that'd be ridiculous. Too complicated. The Germans are straightforward.
You can't automate a French person.
No. They barely move on their own. And the English knights, too much volition. So the knight apparently was going to be powered, or should be powered, by an external mechanical crank. It would use cables and pulleys.
Please tell me someone's got to wind him up all the time.
Running along behind it. Fight, good sir, except in German. It would need pulleys to sit, stand, turn its head, cross its arms, and even lift up its metal visor. I love crossing its arms.
Well, no.
What
it
needs to do is cross its arms.
No, if you have like 50 of these standing in front of your castle and you go cross your arms, you pull on a pulley and they all cross their arms like
harumph.
I would not fight a war with them if they can cross their arms like that.
These robots harumphed at me in German, and they have visors. The people behind them going tick, 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 tick. So, of course, no knight or even complete drawings of it exist today, but there's lots of hints. And also, apparently, in 2002, a roboticist at NASA actually pulled together a bunch of sketches and built a version of the knight, and it kind of worked.
Oh, good on them.
Yeah, not
did
bad.
they make it Germanic?
Yes, they did. It had an accent.
I really hope they put an accent.
And there were 3 genders in its language: masculine, feminine, neuter. It was very, very tricky. But of course, Nietzsche. Sorry,
Nietzsche?
Nietzsche is a gender.
Oh, gender on Nietzsche.
What are you, male, female? I'm Nietzsche. So obviously he thought, Da Vinci said, I'll build a robot lion.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like king of the animals.
Yeah. Also, I mean, to be fair, the Pope, who's the brother of the Medici, his name's Leo. It's a bit leonine.
Nice. Oh.
Coincidence? I think not. I don't know. Might be. So, okay, cool. He's going to build a robot lion. So, apparently Leonardo had done heaps of observations of animals. He dissected them. He sketched a lot of lions in motion.
Yep.
And he would explore how different joints would bear weight.
So all he has to do next is
just build one.
Just make one.
Just fucking make one.
So he's almost there, basically.
100%. Well, 99%, because I got the sketches.
Yeah.
Look, here's the pictures.
I've looked at lions.
I know.
And
I've
now
drawn
next,
them.
here's a robot lion.
You'll notice this diagram is very detailed. It's pretty much like I've finished. So he did build it. It was made of wood and metal. It existed. He made it.
A robot lion.
He made a robot lion. When it appeared before the French court, a lot of people were like,
Fuck off.
Whoa.
Fuck off.
Whoa.
Leonardo, what are you doing now, man? That's ridiculous.
is that a real lion?
You made a
or is that a
robot lion?
robot? And apparently the machine had uncanny realism.
Well, sure. And in those days, you know what they would fucking do?
No.
First, take a lion and gut it, pull out all of its innards. Like,
Stuff two slaves in and go, move around.
it's a robot.
You roar. No.
You know, old school people, they were happy doing that kind of stuff.
It's like a robot, only it's people in a skin.
And it speaks German.
To the French king. I'm sure they would have loved that. Oh, good, a German. I want to give you Florence. You've heard it 1,000 times. So apparently the lion could walk on its own, lift its head, and it would open its chest to reveal a bouquet of flowers. Of
Oh my
fleur
God.
de lis.
Oh my God, that is so cool.
Like all lions. That's how it is. But of course, no original blueprints of this lion survived, and there is no actual lion either.
This is the sadness of history.
Yeah.
You know, we
It
lose the
goes.
cool shit. We lose
Yeah.
the cool shit.
We do.
Like,
We do.
Who cares about the painting? I mean, nice, Leo, but we'll invent photography. We'll do it better. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Give us your robot lion plans.
Give us your line. So most of what's known about this line comes from later descriptions, your after the facts, which is a lot like, the Bible.
Oh, and also
all after the fact.
Yeah, but those people back in those days, their after the fact tellings are pretty wild.
Photographic memories.
No, they did
and
not
they
have
never embellished.
they made shit up like crazy in those
Never.
days.
Always accurate. So to what you're saying, some of the descriptions apparently got a little ebullient.
It ate me 5 times. I am so dead.
Well, some would say I could roar. It couldn't. It could move autonomously for very long distances, which it couldn't. Hunt gazelles.
Nice.
No, I'm making that up. But I might as well, from the claims, they gave you the impression this thing was running around roaring and doing whatever.
So who are these impressions of people that were at the court sort of thing? Like they're writing their diaries and something.
Or knew a fella who knew a woman who knew a guy who knew a lady who was there.
Yeah.
Like the Bible. I know a person who knew a person who was related to a person
No,
who
those
knew
people
Jesus.
300 years later were definitely at the Bible.
They're in touch. So fragments of what the lion's design looked like could be traced through a bunch of Da Vinci's notebooks. Mm-hmm. And there's a biographer of the Renaissance artists, a guy called Vasari, who apparently described it in really decent detail. So it was probably powered by coiled springs and weighted gears like clockworks.
Yeah.
Which is unusual because at the time most machines, when they bothered, they relied on brute force. So I assume people
clockwork was...
and water.
Yeah, sure.
But clockwork was the true.
But that's the one.
That was your quantum mechanics.
I think at that time they were like, you could probably, if you made clockwork good enough, you could do everything.
Yeah. You could make your automata.
And you could make it speak German.
Yes, you could, and roar, and hunt gazelles. So it's so the modern reconstructions, which they did do, was actually made it feasible. They built one, and there's a model of it in Milan at the Leonardo da Museum. So there's a picture if you're interested. If you want to look it up online.
Okay, it's made out of wood.
It looks like a wooden model of a lion. It doesn't look like, you wouldn't look at it and go, fuck, that's a lion.
Yeah, but you put a lion's skin on it.
You can see it represents a lion.
And some slaves in there somewhere. And it's
Yeah. But look, I think that's great. I'm glad he made it. I think it's very cool. But my question is, why don't we do it now? Because if billionaires spent their time making dramatically complicated clockwork animals and stuff, instead of trying to live forever in creepy ways.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say.
It'll be so much cooler.
Yes, billionaires are trying to live forever in creepy ways, but I actually think there are funded weird projects, and one of the ones that
I'd like to see
this just popped into my mind is one of the most beautiful art projects I've ever seen. I think they're called.
Is it this podcast?
Something like the Dutch word for wind beast.
Wundanimal.
No, but it's definitely got the word beast in it. But there's beautiful sculpture type thing.
And he's got them on the beach. And they're fantastic.
And they're
phenomenal.
I think they're made of wood and canvas and things like that. But they have a complicated machinery
Spectacular.
where they sort of walk along the beach in the wind. And it's like...
And they are huge and elaborate.
They're multi-meters tall sort of thing. So I think...
More of that.
People are doing this stuff.
More of that.
Salute it and respect it. I love it. But
I want all the billionaires' compounds to be covered in that. I'd love to see them get obsessed with that rather than
I totally
building colonies on burnt out oil platforms.
Yeah.
Do something fun and quirky and interesting.
No, beautiful art and interesting art. Fund it.
Yeah,
Go for it.
Well done, Leonardo.
Well, that was your little bit of science for the week.
Your holiday edition, your special by the pool wearing a bikini edition.
But because you're on holiday, you know that you still have the power to give us the rating that you need to give us.
Yeah, 7 stars on every app, even things that don't do podcasts.
Yeah, go out there and rate it on like a recipe app.
And Uber and Yelp. Is it Yelp still a thing?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm at a restaurant.
And listener, if you've got some topics that you want us to explore,
tell Will.
How would we tell Will?
His number is 0405.
Not like that.
Oh, cheers at a little bit of science.com.au.
Do that. We want your stories.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
Lovely listener. Enjoy the pinas colada.
Oh, and the
Pina colada.
Pina coladia
Pina coladia.
of the clay.
Pina coladi.